I'm Pat Shanley, and today I'm having a few beers with Brent DeBoer of the Dandy Warhols. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, I love it, dude.
I've been thinking about the things that are stuck inside my head, and I can't get them out. And I've been waking.
All right, Brent, you guys are playing tonight. This probably will not air until the show is over, but it's going to be a great show. I have never actually seen you live, but I've seen lots of footage of you guys playing live, and you put on a pretty psychedelic show. What's it like?
Are you going tonight?
I'm going to try and go, yeah.
Okay, good.
I have two kids. It's very hard for me to do things.
Oh,
but-
I know exactly how that is. I have two kids as well. The only time I ever get out of my house is to go and play a concert.
That's amazing. So you watch it from behind the drums, basically, or from backstage.
Well,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I have. When you have a couple kids, things change.
How old are your kids? Sorry, I don't want to
12 and
age.
14.
Okay, so they're a little bit farther along than mine. I got 2 and 4, so I'm like right in the thick of things.
You're in the most fun stage.
Fun, hard work, yeah. The reason I asked though is because then you can bring your kids to shows, is what I would think, as they start to get older. Right?
I think their first, they were coming out to festivals when they were like 4 and 6, and God bless my wife carrying them around in the mud. Yeah, she's a powerhouse.
Are they into the type of music that you play, or like that you would listen to? They form their own taste.
I don't let them listen to music that isn't any good. So yeah, they're definitely
Nice.
they have to be into it.
True musician father, right there.
Yeah.
You guys have been playing together, and I say because you were the latest member to join the band, but that dates back multiple decades at this point. So you've all been together for a long time.
27 years ago.
That's unbelievable.
I'm like the Ringo Starr of the Dandy Warhols.
Well, I was going to say you have rings on your fingers right now. It's a good comparison. You got a steady backbeat. What's it like playing with people for that long a period of time? I mean, how do you keep a band together for that long? I've broken up 17 bands at this point.
I don't know. I've had a good run because I'm in a handful of bands, and none of them have had any nasty breakups or anything. They're still going from the day they were born. So I have a degree in psychology, so maybe that helps a little bit.
Do you play like therapist for the band?
Maybe without even knowing it.
Yeah.
But,
Do you have like a Chase Lounge on the tour bus?
actually, we do have a bunch of those.
Do you really? That's amazing.
Yeah. There's maybe 4 or 5 of those.
Maybe that's the secret.
But no, I mean, I guess just being the same thing that keeps any relationship healthy, just being considerate and thoughtful of others.
Yeah. I guess it's hard. Like, that's such a long career. So kudos to you for just being around for this long, because how many bands have come and gone in that period of time, and to still be out there and still have an audience, still finding an audience, and releasing new music too. It's not like you're just going out there and playing the old stuff.
I think most bands last about 2 weeks. And then
Most of the 17 bands I've been in were about the 2-week period.
So yeah, no, 3 decades is pretty wild.
Yeah, not bad.
But I mean, we all just love each other, and we might argue a little bit here and there, but not a whole lot. Bunch of nice people. It's good.
You seem like it from the outside looking in. You're certainly a nice guy. Like immediately right off the bat, I was like, what a nice gentleman this guy is. Yeah. You never know with people. Can I ask you like a trick of the trade question? Playing drums for that long, elbows, knees, how are you holding up? Like just the wear and tear.
Yeah, in my 20s, I never thought about it at all. I wish I had. I wish I would have started out doing some stretches and a little bit of mindfulness before and after gigs. But now that I'm a little bit older, I definitely feel a bit of wear and tear. Yeah, it's just, it's a lot, 90 minutes of just going. All drummers have back issues. I have mine.
Is that a thing, really? Because there's no
yeah.
back on the thrones generally?
Oh, yeah. I remember walking up the stairs behind Lars Ulrich and into a nightclub and watching him climb the stairs and just thinking to myself, okay, I got to start doing yoga.
Lars Ulrich got you into yoga, but like second he vicariously got you into yoga.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Watching that and, thinking that was a little while ago. He was probably about my age at the time I witnessed that. But I mean, like, he definitely works quite a bit harder than I do behind the kit. In fairness.
I will say, I mean, obviously they're a metal band, so there's that part of it for sure.
It's out of control.
Yeah, he wails
If
on
you've
it.
ever seen Metallica, it is one of the greatest experiences you could ever have.
I have seen Metallica, and I will second that. I don't know if I've seen them from backstage the way I'm sure you have, but
Oh yeah.
even out in the, I've been in the pit, man.
Oh god, that looks scary.
I'm not a big guy.
The closest I was to the Metallica pit was from the side of their stage, looking at it and just thinking to myself, that just looks like the pit of hell.
It is
looks
in
like
lots of
it looks
ways.
terrifying. Because when I saw Nirvana, I only saw them one time, and my friend Rick Bain and I, we wanted to get up close.
Yeah.
And I had never really been to a concert that big yet in my life. I think I was 20, and all the gigs I'd gone to, besides like the Beach Boys and things like that, were a little different.
Yeah.
But we were like, let's go right down there. So we were standing 20 or 30 feet from the stage. And here comes Kurt and his band. And the first song was that one that's like where Dave Grohl takes off going, all this feedback, and they're going, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? And the second that beat kicked in, it started to get ugly. And then as soon as Cobain hit that guitar, and back then I weighed probably 125 pounds.
Oh, shit.
And I felt the life in my soul just leaving my body. I couldn't believe that I was only gonna live to be 20.
And I'm dying at Nirvana.
Yeah,
concert.
I'm gonna die. And I figured that 30, 40, 50 people are gonna die. I couldn't breathe. I'm moving 40 feet across the floor without my feet touching the ground. Getting kicked in the head, people piled all over the top of the crowd. And that's the very last mosh pit I was ever in.
What did you expect to happen when you were up there?
I didn't know about that. We didn't have the internet.
You went to only the Beach Boys before.
I
and then-
didn't know. I did not know. I mean, I'd been to hundreds of concerts at
Yeah.
that time, but mostly at like Satyricon or the X-Ray. And we wanted to get a good look at him, but it took about 3 songs for me to make my way out of that hellhole.
Man.
And then we made it to the back and watched the gig. And
You know,
it was
this
like,
was
it
enough
like
for
one
me,
of
I
the- It was
think.
one of the best gigs. It was pretty much the best gig I've ever seen.
I gotta say, it's funny because how many people have actually gotten to see Nirvana? You know, like it's
Very few.
it gets less and less with like every passing year, I suppose. So
Yeah, there's probably twice as many people who say they saw Nirvana than who actually did.
posers, dude. I've never seen it. I'll be honest about it.
In Portland, Oregon, the Portland Trailblazers won the championship in '77, and they had done some polls like in the '80s, early '90s, trying to find people who were at the game.
Yeah.
And it held 12,000 people, and there's like 600,000 people claim to have been at that championship
This is
game.
like a Romanov situation. People are all saying.
But I did see Nirvana.
Nice, hell yeah. That's verified. Speaking of Portland, I feel like a lot gets made of like Seattle, rightfully, right? Like in the 90s, but like Portland had a little scene that was happening too, where you guys like emerged from. I mean, you joined the band a little bit later, so.
Yeah, they were going for a few years, and I went to pretty much all of their gigs.
Oh, so you were a fan before you joined the band?
Yeah, I mean, they would have played quite a few gigs before I was told about them. Courtney's my cousin.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and Courtney's the singer
Yeah.
in the band, and he and my dad told me that he goes, hey, you know, your cousin Courtney is his band. He's got a band. It's called the Dandy Warhols, and they're really, really blowing up. You should have you seen them? And I'm like, no.
I'm getting
And he said,
killed at Nirvana
you
concerts.
better go down and check it out. And so we did. And then after that moment, I don't think we missed any. I think I saw him like 25 times.
Amazing.
And then just recently, I was like, I don't want to go into any details, but I was injured pretty bad on the road in Europe. And our dear friend Patrick, who is
Great
a
name.
great drummer. Yeah, a great drummer and a great singer, and he knows all of our songs. And you know, we only had a few gigs left on the tour, and they were kind of some of the best ones. And he flew out, and I got to see the Dandy Warhols again.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Like to become a spectator.
Yeah. And it was like the coolest. I just couldn't believe it. I was a kid again. It was so much fun.
If you had to like describe a Dandy
It was
Warhol.
worth the injury.
Yeah, really.
It was.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I got to see him 3 nights in a row. I was like a deadhead.
I mean, that's amazing to be playing with a band for that long a period of time and then still be a fan of it when you get to take a step back. It's pretty rare, I would say.
Very rare to be able to see the band. Like, for instance, there's no way Courtney will ever get to experience that, or Z, or Pete, really.
Yeah.
The only option is me, and the only reason why I could do it is because somebody as amazing as Patrick could step in and save my life.
That's cool. Did you see the band through like a new lens afterwards? Like, did it like
Yeah.
reinvigorate you to get back in there?
It just gave me so much more confidence because now I know what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And
That's interesting.
I just was like, just made me feel a lot less nervous.
I feel like drummers kind of have to play point guard a lot because you're driving the songs forward. And you're kind of like, I mean, you're obviously literally the heartbeat of like the songs and the set. When you're,
I'd say it's the most pressure.
yeah, you think so, being the drummer?
The highest
Yeah?
pressure, yeah. Because, you know, half the audience knows your music well. And if the drums just suddenly stop, or if it just, or even if you don't know the music at all and you suddenly get on the wrong side of the beat, or, you know, who knows, lots of things can go wrong. But like, I play guitar in a couple other bands, and I feel so much more comfortable with that. Because if you miss a chord, you can kind of pick up on it.
Yeah.
You can stop, catch back up, but you can't stop if you're the drummer. You can't just go, give me a second. If you stop, the whole band, they all
crumbles.
just look at you
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on? And the whole audience does the same thing.
Angrily, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's, and I would do the same thing. You know, I mean, you're sitting
Yeah.
you're sitting there watching a gig, and then the drums just go, and they just stop. You're like, what the hell? But like, you know, I mean, no offense to guitarists around the world, but you can go and get a sandwich during the gig.
No.
And people will keep dancing.
I'll tell you, as somebody who plays guitar, and playing lead guitar is like cheating because you only have to jump in when you need to. You kind of just play on top of everything. It's much easier than I feel like staying in the pocket. I would never be able to play bass. I could never play drums.
Yeah. I play guitar in bands as well, and I as far as like nervousness and pressure, I much prefer it. But you're up at like kind of the front of the stage.
Yeah.
When you're playing guitar, and you feel like nobody really watches the drummer. Unless you're a drummer, nobody cares.
You do get to sit down, I'll give you that.
That's nice.
If you have to pee or something.
That part's nice.
The songwriting process, I don't know about the Dandy Warhols, but I think you're a songwriter yourself as well outside, like in the other bands. So do you bring that into different bands? How's it work? Do you just like kind of have separate roles and separate projects that you have?
Yeah, I've written maybe 6 or 7 songs with the Dandy Warhols.
Okay.
And maybe like Courtney and I have co-written a few as well. But I mean, there's like 160 of them now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Courtney's done the hard yards on that. He's basically written all of them. And God bless him, quite prolific, incredible to be able to do that. It's how we still get to be doing this after 30 years.
Yeah.
But, I had to kind of teach myself to write songs because I met a guy in Melbourne when I was just before I was thinking of moving there. Just happened to meet him at a bar. I was hanging out with Matt Hollywood. We were actually there. Do you know that Dig movie?
Yeah. I was going to talk
they
about
had the
that.
Digital Film Festival, the Res Fest, and Matt Hollywood and I were invited to go over there and speak before those showings and do Q&As and stuff. So we're at a bar, and this dude walks up to us and says, are Jonestown and the Dandies playing, or what's going on? And we ended up hanging out with him, well, basically since then.
Okay.
For the last 20 years. But he plays guitar, and he's way into music, and so I said, hey, if I'm gonna move here, I don't think I could live here 2, 3, 4 months at a time between Dandy tours and not play music. So we got a band going, and he writes, but he's not super prolific with that. So I knew I had to contribute 3 or 4 if we're going to make an album. And I kind of had to just force myself. I taught myself to create a song.
How'd you do that?
I'm not exactly sure. Just a lot of time, and just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting until it seems like it has a start and an end, and it has all the parts all the words make sense and they rhyme. Like the first 3 or 4 were pretty rudimentary, but I've gotten better over the years, and I have quite a few songs now that are ready to be recorded, and I'm getting better and better at it now.
Who'd you lean on, like, when you were learning? Like, what'd you go to? I feel like everybody goes to the Beatles to a certain extent, but...
Definitely Beatles. But the Beatles are such an impossible bar. It's nerve-wracking if you're attempting to do something like that. I mean, just even like all those vocal arrangements and the harmonies and the lyrics and the production, of course, that's a whole different
George Martin
nut to crack there. But no, I was definitely looking in other directions. I was looking for, especially initially, at music that seems attainable to basically rip off. Like, is there are there songs that I love that just have 3 chords and a nice lyric, a nice story, a nice melody? Definitely looking there initially, but I've certainly branched out from that time period when I was first learning.
Who is it? This is obnoxious, but it's like T.S. Eliot or something. It was like the great artists borrow and like truly great artists steal, I think is what it is, right? It's like there's something to that.
Yeah, and fair enough. There's hardly an original. Well, there's no original
chord. There's only 15 notes to begin with,
right?
Yeah,
exactly. There's like 7 chords, and we're all borrowing from people in unmarked graves in the South of this country, basically.
You a big blues guy then, based on that?
No, not really, but all rock and roll is the blues.
Yeah, for sure, right? Just with a faster backbeat in lots of ways.
Yeah, just different. Your take on it, your interpretation of it, from Madonna to Pantera to the Beatles to us to whatever. You're basically using that template that was invented with this peasant instrument on the porches of cotton fields in the South.
So when you play gigs now, I mean, I imagine it's like a mix of people because you've been around for so long. So it's the people who've been there for a long time following the band, and then new people are discovering the music. So you might be inspiring, and you probably have been for now a while. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm dating you. I'm not trying to. It's just because it's prolific.
We've been around well.
But now you're inspiring new people to do it. So like what you just said, there's people who would have listened to the Dandy Warhols and then be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to write songs that are like these types of songs.
Yeah, I mean, we've been noticing this, especially, we had to take a few years off because of the COVID horseshit. And then after that, I've noticed, and Courtney and I have talked about it, there's this whole other generation. We're seeing thousands of, like, I'd say, 20 to 23-year-old, 18, 17 to 23, 24-year-olds coming to the gig. And when we talk to them before or after the concerts around the neighborhood or whatever, they're telling us a similar story that I had when I was 19, 20. They're saying, I really hated when I was first getting into music at 15, 16 years old, hated all the music my friends were listening to, and I dug into my parents' CD collection. When I was that age, I'm digging into my parents' record collection, but they always are like, yeah, we pulled out, I've heard this hundreds of times, we pull out the CDs, put on some music that they remember hearing, obviously, because they've been living in that home their whole childhood. But they're like, I remember that being pretty cool. Of course, they have the internet now, so they're looking up live shows from back in the day.
Yeah.
And they're like, shit, man, I love this Blur band, the Dandy Warhols, Oasis, whatever. They're finding this stuff, the Strokes, and I got to go see these bands. And that's exactly the way me and all my friends were when I was that age, I was hating, no offense to my sister, I love you so much. But, when she's driving me to school and they'd have the top 40 radio on. And
I'm getting Ace of Base flashbacks.
Paula Abdul is like singing about like 2 steps forward and jump 2 steps back. I'm just sitting there going, this is dumb as hell. But you would go home and I would pull out Simon and Garfunkel and Fleetwood Mac and the Rolling Stones, the Beatles and all this. And rightfully say, you know what, this is a lot better, and really grew a love for that and an extreme hatred for that radio, and that's exactly what they experienced. And when I did the math on it, I realized when I was 20, going to see Paul Simon, Fleetwood Mac, the Grateful Dead, the Beach Boys.
Dude, your roster is unbelievable.
If you're looking at the dates, on this, it's exactly the same. So when they blew up in like, let's just say, any one of those bands, say their first kind of big hits were 68, 69, 70, or 71, that 30-year time span, 80, 90, a little less. I would have been like 25 years after their first big hits. And that's where we're basically at.
Right.
And so I'm watching this in the front of our gigs, what I did. And they know they're going to see their parents' music.
Are you doing that when
they're coming out to our gig? They're going to see their parents' music. And they're going to see a throwback band.
But they're into it. Yeah.
Way into it. They got all the songs memorized.
Hell yeah,
they're
that's
singing
amazing.
along.
When you're playing, are you watching that when you're out there? Like, are you paying attention to the crowd?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I can't really see most people, but in that first, 70, 80 people, when the backlights come on, you see. And, like, you see a whole group of 20-year-old girls just, like, going, singing the words. And I'm like, that's me, that's Rick Bain, that's Andrew Freitas, just losing our minds at Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
That's fucking awesome. And it just, you pay it forward. The thing is like, it's there forever. What's so cool about art is like you make it and then thousands, millions of people can listen to it forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
It is nice, especially, like for as long as the internet lasts, like at least for the next 3 or 4 weeks, people have access to it,
Watch, something will happen and they'll point to this podcast. Goddamn Brent DeBoer. It's like talking about COVID right before it happened. Now, I was born in the late 80s and I knew who DJ Scat is, so you brought up Paula Abdul. I'm like, shit, they got me too.
I don't mean, sorry, Paula, if you're watching this. I don't mean
if we reach Paula Abdul.
I'm just saying that my 18-year-old brain couldn't really handle it.
Are there bands now that are young that like you look to? They're like, oh, I'm a fan of this, or like I hear some influence like on these newer bands. I don't want to put you on the spot to name one, but like.
Yeah, I mean, you hear tons because I live in Melbourne, Australia, and there is a rock and roll club. Like they're like Starbucks there in Melbourne. They're all over the place, and. You pop in and out of them. If you're heading out with some people, you might go. And most of the gigs are free. You go in and out, and you hear it. You hear the Dandies influence. You hear Jonestown, a lot of Jonestown. You hear like somebody that it sounds like the Strokes, but the music. It might be just a keyboardist. And a drummer. With a bunch of backing tracks, and you can hear it's like, oh my God, this sounds so much like the Strokes, except for that sonically they're using a lot of craft work. And I think now, I mean, like you have this amazing thing the last 20 years with the internet where you have access to every single recorded piece of music in the history of mankind is right at your fingertips. And if you like tunes, you can dig around in there and find influence. And like you were saying, if you hear a sound which to you sounds kind of like a drumstick on the back of a plate going through a song from that you found, that you dug out from 1981, grab a plate and stick and go in the studio and try it yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think music and recordings just get better and better and better with all those ideas, all those tools in your belt.
On the professional side, I've heard this a few times. What's difficult is that you're now not just competing with all new music, you're competing with all music that's ever been released. So like there's only so many minutes that people can listen to. So it gets harder and harder to like carve your own piece of the pie.
You mean when
like in terms of
when
streams
you
or whatever.
record an album or a song and you put it out?
Yes, exactly. So for new music,
Yeah, no one's gonna hear it.
Yeah, it's there's so much, right? Like
No. Like I have a band, Super American Eagle, and another one, Immigrant Union, and we're
both great
not
names.
as big as the Dandy Warhols by any stretch of the imagination, but we are absolutely over the moon if we release a single and release a music video. That, I mean, it's an incredible amount of work to write a song, to record a song. It's expensive to record it. It's expensive and a ton of work to make a video, but we still do it like real old school, like it's 1991, and put it out there. And if after 3 or 4 months, if that video has 4,700 views, to us, that's like a platinum record.
that was a super specific number, but
But that's it.
because it makes me think that that's what you've hit.
For us, that seems like that's a platinum album.
Yeah, because those are hard fought views. Because again, you're competing
Really,
with fucking Sgt. Pepper's.
Really hard. Well, making a
doing Beatles
song
references.
or recording or anything, writing a book, anything that you do that goes onto the internet, it's like you're dropping confetti into an infinite black hole in the earth, and where you know it's just a.
I know exactly what you're saying. That was an awesome. I was waiting for like what the metaphor was going to be because I knew where you were going, and I was like, that's not what I would have done.
Who's gonna catch one of those pieces of confetti? But no, I mean, like I said, if you have 47, I'll be out with some of my friends, and we'll hear a band and or maybe end up playing with them at a show, and like, God, these guys are awesome. And you go home that night and you look them up, and they said, oh yeah, you know, we made this record a couple years ago and this one recently. Go home and look them up and click through their videos. This is like one of the coolest bands that can be.
Yeah.
And there's 119 people.
Yeah.
Watching a great video with a great song and 119 views, and it gets a little bit depressing, but you still go out and play live, and at the end of the day, the night that I saw them and that we played with them, we all had a great time. There were lots of people there.
Yeah.
Everyone had fun. So maybe the whole genre of rock and roll music or music in general just kind of, unless you're Taylor Swift, just moves away from even bothering to make a music video and just play live. But then at the end of the day, how are you ever going to tell anyone about your band?
I don't know, it's tough. But there's nothing, you can't replicate that live experience. So having like a great live show, I mean, there's nothing better. Everybody's best memories, like you talking about almost dying at a Nirvana concert, which is like
The worst memory, and then after about
then
12 minutes, by the time I made it out of there, it was the best memory.
all right, what's the shittiest gig you ever played in your life? For any reason, it's a very open-ended question, yeah.
God, this is a tough one. Well, okay. I mean, this was a shitty gig, but it was lots of fun.
Okay. As they are sometimes. In retrospect, not so much later.
So I guess in college, I suppose I probably would have been late, maybe 20 or 21, and got booked at a gig with my man Rick Bain, and we set up, and let me just say how the room is set up. So you got this big room, you got a stage here and a big rectangular room. Right at the back of the room, front of house sound and lighting. And next door, through some windows, is the bar.
Okay.
Where usually during a rock show, most of the people hang out.
Yeah, naturally.
And there's a door right here where you pay to get in to go to the concert.
Got it?
So from the stage, we can see through the window to the bar. And that bar, it's packed. It is packed, and we're set up, and the front of house guy just, he tips the, yeah, ready to go, guys. And we're just sitting there, and there's not one single human being in that giant shoebox. And through the window, the most humiliating situation, because you can see like 100 people all drinking and having fun.
Brutal.
Next door. and then we started, and we played the whole gig. Okay, check this out, about 3 songs into it. So we're just playing to the front of house guy.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there like this, just at the desk. And about 3 songs in, we see that guy just get up in the middle of the 3rd song and just walk through that door into the bar.
He went to the bar too.
So now there literally is a room of 0 people. But then we'd get back to school where we had passed out flyers and invited everybody to come to the gig. I guess this is what happens when you don't have a video and you don't have a record.
We're come full circle.
So nobody knew anything about it. We're just going, come to our gig. And they're like, why?
Trash can.
Yeah, exactly. Here, you throw this away. So we would get back to our school and say, go to the people, our friends, the people that we'd pass these pointless flyers out to, that also you're standing at Kinko's Copy Center making them
pay for that
and cutting them.
This is going to be huge.
Designing it.
Color stock is really going to make.
Yeah, this is all well worth it. So we'd go to them and go, hey, did you go to the gig? Were you at the gig?
Oh, no.
And they go, no, I couldn't make it. I couldn't
my
make
grandma.
It. And you go, oh man, no, it was amazing. You missed the most.
Oh, nice. So you lied about it? That's incredible.
Yeah, the gig was amazing. Well, we did play amazing.
Yeah.
We absolutely slayed it. To no one.
Yeah, they missed it.
But we just ask, hey, did you go to the gig? They go, no, I'm sorry, I couldn't make it. Was it great? Oh no, we killed. But the idea there, of course, that there were so many people, we'd have no idea who was there.
Yeah. Smart move. You spun it to your favor.
That was pre-Instagram marketing right there.
Yeah, well, back in the day, that's how you had to do it. Brent, you're the fucking man, dude. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
You guys are going to do great tonight. I'm excited for the show.